Hi, how's it going? I got a lot of good feedback on the previous update that I put up, so thanks for that. I replied to a whole bunch of those comments. There was one in particular that somebody left that made me realize I need to do a more in-depth follow-up on something. So we're going to be exploring some stuff today and talking about some things that I haven't talked about before. I think it'll be fun. So there's a game that some people want me to play that I really don't want to play, and they keep asking over and over the years, very persistently, um, which is perfectly reasonable, but I've never really talked about this fully, so I wanted to address this in a more formal way. So my YouTube channel has had a somewhat messy history. Believe it or not, this was a Minecraft channel once. It's not anymore, but people still ask me to play Minecraft fairly often. I guess it's not as often as it used to be, but it still happens. And I feel like I've never given those people, my past Minecraft audience, a satisfactory explanation for why I don't play it anymore. So I'm going to attempt to do that today, and in the process, give a pretty thorough history of my entire time on YouTube. So this should be fun. So I suspect most of the people who watch me today came more recently and weren't around for the Minecraft days. That was sort of how I got my start. Not my very start, but my, when people actually started subscribing and watching me regularly. Definitely got an initial boost from having done Minecraft, a popular game at the time that everybody else was doing, but I managed to carve out my own niche and get a decent audience from it. So yeah, I think sharing all of this will help contextualize some things so you can understand where I came from and where I am now. And this will be good for me too. I have never really looked at this information all at once before. And there's some stuff in here that nobody else has ever known other than me, so I'll be telling some new stories here. Anyway, so I went through a bunch of stuff and gathered a channel history. So in March 2007, that was the first YouTube upload that I ever made. It was a time-lapse that I had made of my face after having shaved. I was shaved once, believe it or not, and growing my beard back. It was pretty bad. It wasn't very well received. I got a lot of negative feedback on it, and I ended up just deleting the video shortly after that. It was only like 10 seconds long, just supposed to be a cool-looking thing, but nobody thought it looked as good as I did at that time. I didn't know what I was doing. Anyway, so just a little footnote on that was the first video that I ever uploaded, and it's gone now. Then from December 2007 to December 2008, so over about a year, I uploaded a few dance game videos here and there. This is on In the Groove, on the home pad I used to play on. There are like 5 or 6 of them. They're still there. If you sort videos by oldest first, you can see those. In late 2007 or so, or 2008, I couldn't get an exact time on this, I had my first exposure to the world of Let's Play. So I saw Proton John's Kaizo Mario World Special Stage 2 video that everybody else on the internet saw at that time. It was highly entertaining. I enjoyed it a lot. And that just kind of introduced me to this concept of people playing video games. At that time, it was sort of about unreasonably hard video games, getting angry at them, and all of the entertainment that follows from that. So yeah, that was sort of where I started with this whole concept. Funny thing, after I had seen this, I kind of attempted to do a copycat sort of thing. I started up Kaizo Mario World 2, because I had played through these ROM hacks myself and wanted to give it a try. So I put on a headset, started playing, and started talking, and got about an hour of really terrible footage. I looked and realized I had been doing it for an hour and decided, wow, this is a terrible idea, and just kind of threw away the whole thing in embarrassment without ever really looking at it. So that was my first attempt at making a Let's Play. Anyway, so a few years later, in January 2010, I had been revisiting some old games that I had played a long time ago. There was this one for the Apple II called Station 5 that I liked a whole lot. And for whatever reason, at that time, I just decided, right, I remember what it was. I played this game. I Googled for it to see if anybody else even knew it existed, if there was anything about it on the internet. And I couldn't find much of anything, so I thought, I really like this. I want to share it somehow. I want to help preserve it in some way, I guess. So I made my first ever actual Let's Play that I uploaded for Station 5. It was about 8 minutes long, had a really terrible microphone, and if you listen to it, I sound like a completely different person back then. Again, sort my videos by oldest first. If you want to listen to somebody who has no confidence in his speaking ability and doesn't really know how to express himself, just to see sort of the difference and how far that I've come. It's pretty dramatic difference. Anyway, so that was just a little one video thing that I did. In late 2011, I played the game of Minecraft for the first time. This was right around the time that they had just released their 1.0 version, the official release that was out of beta. That was when I first picked it up. I had been initially suspicious of Minecraft after hearing a lot of people that I talked to online frequently. They were playing it, they were having a lot of fun, sharing their creations and stuff. Every time I looked at them, I was just like, what is this? Why is this special? Why do people like this? I don't get it. So I guess I just decided that I needed to try it for myself to understand what it was and why it was a thing that so many people liked so much. So after spending a little bit of time with it, I was pretty interested in it then. It kind of won me over very quickly. Like, I got over my initial suspicion and started exploring the world of Minecraft, and it was this crazy new thing back then that was, well, it was what it was. Definitely a very, what am I trying to say? It was an original concept that launched an entire genre of games, I guess. So it had definitely a lot of historical significance. That was right around the time that had started. So, you know, I was playing this game, having fun with it. In March 2012, I made my first video about Minecraft, showing off one of my creations, and uploaded it to YouTube. At this point, I wasn't watching anybody else who played it. I didn't really have any particular context for how people presented these things, and the video turned out kind of bad in hindsight. It still exists on my channel, but it's in unlisted status because I don't really want people watching it. It was linked to somewhere on the internet, so I didn't want it to just disappear completely. But anyway, it was bad. I don't want to talk about it too much. Anyway, so about a month later, like I said, I hadn't watched anybody else online to see how they presented stuff. I was browsing the Minecraft forum for some reason, and in some post that I read there, somebody had linked to a video from this guy called Ethos Lab. He was a pretty popular Minecraft YouTuber, still is as far as I know. But I watched the first few seconds of this video to see what this forum post was talking about, and was kind of intrigued by this guy and his personality and what he was doing. And the video that I happened to watch was, I believe it was the first one he had made of joining the Mindcrack server. Mindcrack, oh boy, do I really want to try to define this. It's a group of people who started out playing Minecraft together. They play a bunch of other games. They all have YouTube channels, as far as I know. Most or all of them. Anyway, so yeah, it's just a group of people who play games together and make video content about it. And I followed them for a while. I started looking at other members of the group and subscribing to them, watching their stuff, started getting to know their personalities, figuring out which ones I liked. So they actually kind of became my primary source of entertainment for a while. So I was watching Mindcrack videos as my what I did when I had some downtime and just wanted to watch something on the internet. So that was fun for a while. One of the things that some members of that group did together, it was Etho, Good, and BOO, formed this team called Ooge, which they took on a custom Minecraft map that was made to be, hard and unfair and brutal and challenging. So, it was perfect YouTube fodder for this sort of thing. People play it and blunder around and are entertaining by all their failures and stuff. So I watched them doing that, and I was inspired at the time to start my first actual Let's Play series. And again, I guess this was kind of a copycat thing. I decided to do a custom Minecraft map from the same map creator as the one that they had been playing. So I started my series on the Minecraft map called Waking Up. And in the first video there, I do say specifically that it was inspired by this group of people and what they're doing. So that was very much what was happening then. This was the first time I had a good microphone. I had just ordered it, I think, probably specifically for this purpose, and it's still the same one I'm using today. Technically not today. This is a Blue Yeti. That's the one I use when I don't want it right in front of my face like this, covering it all up. Anyway, so I have two microphones. That's my primary one that I still use. Blue Yeti is for other stuff. Anyway, so yeah, I did that for a while, and eventually that sort of spun off into a modded Minecraft survival series, where I was just playing not a map with a defined goal or anything, just a regular survival world where I'd explore and try stuff and make my own fun there, I guess. So that's what I did for a while. That was just what my channel was for about a year then. In May 2013, I started my first non-Minecraft Let's Play, which was an Untitled Story, a game I still like quite a lot. So I did that Let's Play. I actually did another one of that same game on a harder difficulty mode later, not so long ago. Anyway, then in July 2013, I did my first vlog, so video with my face like this one. At that time, I had put it up to, for the purpose of announcing that I was shifting my focus away from Minecraft videos and toward game development. As most of you probably know, I'm a game developer. Has been my primary hobby for many years. I kind of took about a year off of it not too long ago to just kind of work on myself, do other things, but I'm back at it now, and that's, I am a game developer. That's a part of my identity. So I was working on some projects there. I felt like the things I had been doing for YouTube had been getting in the way. Minecraft in particular, the way that I was playing it was taking an enormous amount of my time. I was doing a thing, like I was saying, I was doing a modded survival series that basically, to do what I wanted to do with it required me to spend lots of time not just sitting there actually recording and talking stuff, just doing work on my own, preparing for video things. So it was like several hours per episode of that I put up, of my own time that went into it. So that was why I said that was just taking too much of my time. I wanted to, this isn't quite what I want to do with my life, so I wanted to take it in a different direction then. So Minecraft kind of continued for a little while after that. In August 2013 or so, the videos just sort of started to fizzle out. I wasn't uploading nearly as many anymore, and they just kind of wasn't feeling the inspiration. And again, I was shifting my focus away from it. I had been trying to balance it, so I'd still do some of that while I was doing my other stuff. But anyway, it just kind of petered out there. So anyway, another bit of history. Later that year, in December 2013, I started my first Drawd LP. So I was doing Journey to Rooted Hold. For the first time in many years, I had played that game a few years before that, and decided it would be a good fit. Because yeah, during all this process, I was doing other non-Minecraft games too. Not as much as I do now, but anyway. So that was where Drawd started, and that has continued through today and will for the foreseeable future. In May 2014, there was a brief reboot of Minecraft Let's Plays. It lasted about a month and a half before it kind of fizzled out again, and I decided I wasn't inspired, I wasn't happy with what was happening there, and I kind of abandoned it again. So there were two more. I was doing modded survival again, so just kind of freeform playing on my own, just exploring what modifications people had made for this game and how they changed it and stuff like that. So I didn't have specific goals. It was just I could kind of make my own fun, stop whenever I wanted, and I decided I wanted to stop. Anyway, so that was Minecraft on my channel. After that, it mostly just settled into the familiar pattern we see now. Just pick up whatever game seems interesting, do a full series on it, then replace that with something else that seems interesting at the time, and do what I do. So, yeah, the thing I wanted to talk about today primarily was that throughout all of this, all this time from when I started doing Minecraft videos here to August 2015, something happened. Throughout all that, I had Minecraft and Minecraft Let's Players had been a continuing influence on my style of commentary and choice of games. So yeah, I was watching people regularly and, just subconsciously taking cues from them for how to do my own videos and things. They were still my primary source of entertainment, so I was very much immersed in that culture. Yeah, in August 2015, something happened that changed that. I made a comment on a video that of some people from the Minecraft server that I kind of regretted. It was a little more negative than I usually like to be. I was pointing out something that happened that I thought was kind of hypocritical during I don't want to get into the whole thing because I'm not really proud of it. But this kind of negative comment blew up in a way I didn't expect. Like a bunch of, these people have, I was going to say thousands isn't that much, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They get comments all the time. It's very rare to get any attention from them individually. But this comment got some individual attention from a bunch of people in this group. And eventually the comment just got deleted by the person whose video it was on. And that was, so I don't actually know if I'm banned from his channel. I might be. I've never tested since then to post a comment and see if it would actually show up. But anyway, so that was some drama that I started sort of accidentally. And that made me take a step back and think about whether watching these things was really a good influence on me, and whether I really wanted to be part of that culture anymore. And I came to the conclusion that I really did not. So I ended up unsubscribing from everybody on the Minecraft server at that point, just saying, this is not good for me anymore. It was taking up a lot of my time too. Like I said, it was my primary source of entertainment. Some of the people I was subscribed to, it was like 10 videos a day or something that were showing up in my subscriptions. It was a lot to watch. I didn't watch all of it, but I tried to keep up with a lot of it. So anyway, yeah, that was just another thing that figured into this decision to sort of deliberately distance myself from Minecraft and their influence on me. And yeah, like I had just picked up some mannerisms from watching them for a while, and when I took a step back and sort of looked at where I was, I decided this is not the person I want to be. So yeah, that happened, and I kind of disentangled myself from that. And over time since then, I've been kind of consciously trying to, again, distance myself from that whole culture of Minecraft on YouTube and what it is, what it means. A couple of months before that, in May 2015, I started watching Raukau regularly. He's someone I had known about for many years. Like I said, I started with Proton John. He was known for Let's Playing Super Mario World ROM hacks. Raukau was another person who did that a lot back then, and he has apparently continued to do that up until today, which is pretty awesome. And let's see, I was prompted by a tweet that Matt Thorson had made that Raukau had started LPing a ROM hack that he had made called Super Mario World Remix. And I decided, yeah, I'd love to see this. I like Matt Thorson's work. I know who Raukau is. I'd be happy to watch him. And yeah, I was charmed by it. I enjoyed what I had seen. Funny thing is, Raukau had actually left some comments on some of my videos earlier for Drod stuff. I was surprised to see his name pop up there because he's pretty well known. So I was like, oh, cool. This person who is internet famous has found me and is liking the stuff that I do. That's awesome. Anyway, yeah, so I subscribed to him, continued watching after Super Mario World Remix had run out, and we kind of became friends, so I've been very happy to have him as a friend. It's very cool. So, it wasn't until I put these notes together and looked at the exact timeline, but I realize now that that was sort of where, right in mid-2015 was where Raukau sort of took over as my primary influence on YouTube as I stepped away from Mindcrack. So yeah, he gave me a few tips on video editing and stuff, which are very much appreciated. And I guess I ended up kind of adopting some little pieces of his mannerisms in my own videos a little bit. This is stuff that just sort of happens subconsciously. If I'm exposed to something and watch it a lot, then I'm going to start adopting components of that. Anyway, so I was much happier with to have him as an influence than some of the stuff that I'd had before. And yeah, I just kind of made a gradual but deliberate change to be a slightly different person than I had been before that. Anyway, so that was interesting. Just a little bit of other channel history that happened since then. In July 2016, I started posting dance game videos again, so that was kind of a callback to the very earliest stuff on my channel. And yeah, that was when I was doing the dance pad building project. So those have continued since then. Then in August 2017, I had the schedule issue. I had a really bad day trying to record two things. I was doing 2 videos per evening, every single evening then. And I had the 2 games that I was playing then. Both of them gave me a huge amount of trouble and ended up with super long, exhausting recording sessions for both of them. And I just said, whoa, this is unsustainable. I have to do something about it. So I just decided to take a break, throw away my schedule, and do less than I had been. Anyway, so I think that was recent enough that most of you probably know about it. I've talked about it a few times. So anyway, just wanted to include that because that's part of my history. And that brings us to today. Yeah. So there were some sort of experimental things that I did along the way that I figured I'd mention. They didn't really fit into the history exactly. Early on, there was a game development series that I tried to start where I was going to write a game from scratch and document the whole process there. That series only made it 2 videos in. I didn't do nearly enough planning ahead of time, didn't really know what I was doing back then, and it just fizzled out very quickly. I don't think it's worth looking for if you want to go looking for it. It still exists, but yeah, don't bother, it's not worth it. I think that is something that I might... No, I have this... Right, this is later in my notes. I'll get to that. I did the First Impressions series for a while. This was something where I would find early builds of games on forums or other places and download them, playtest them, and video the process so the developer could see what I had done, get some good feedback, and I could sort of promote the game a little bit to anybody else who was watching. That was good for a while. It kind of came to a conclusion for a couple of reasons. One of the games that I did in it was an email request from somebody who sent me a game that was very early on in development, much more than most of the games that I had done there. Not super polished. I just got kind of a bad feeling about it. But I did a video on it as requested and spoke honestly about what I thought, gave some feedback. And that kind of spiraled out of control and caused a whole bunch of drama. The developer sent me a bunch of emails. They were very unhappy with my coverage. They expected something very different from what I did. Uh, anyway, so just I didn't want to deal with all that drama, so that kind of put a damper on my motivation for continuing with that. And I also just sort of ran into a lack of content much more quickly than I expected to. Like I ran out of the list of games that I could find that were well suited for this pretty quickly. So I just didn't have anything else to put in that series. Anyway, so there are every once in a while somebody emails me something and I do put a new thing in that series. Basically, like Submuncher would have been the most recent one. So I'm still happy to do those things. I just don't. I don't really go out and seek them out like I did at that point. I did some videos about guns that I'd kind of rather forget about, so let's not talk about those. I did 2 collaborations with Lorgon111. He's somebody who came from a Minecraft background. He found me way back when I was doing my first Minecraft Let's Play series. So that was another moment of like, whoa, this guy is like really popular. Like he has a lot of subscribers. People know his name, and he's found me. Cool. So he made friends with me fairly early on, and that was nice. So yeah, I got to play a couple of games with him. We did Don't Starve Together, and we did Terraria. The Terraria series kind of came to a bad end not because of anything between the two of us, just because I was kind of sick of the game at that point and the way that it had worked. So I'd certainly be open to doing more collaborations with him at some point if we had the right thing to do. But anyway, that sort of ended after I had a grumpy end to the Terraria series we had done together. There was the Apple II Classics series that I did for a while. This was kind of taking a trip down memory lane, revisiting some of the oldest games that I had played. I guess this was kind of inspired by the Station 5 video that I had done so long ago that I mentioned, the very, very first Let's Play, and I actually covered Station 5 again in that series. So yeah, I got through most of the games that I cared about there. I still had some on the list that I could have done before that fizzled out, but eventually I just decided, well, I'm kind of done with this. It took a lot of energy, because it was kind of like starting a Let's Play of a new game every single video that I recorded for it, which was just got to be exhausting after a while. And then there was the Dance Pad building series, which I thought was interesting because it was not a Let's Play, it was a real life sort of thing. Where I was making a physical sort of thing. So that was a lot of fun. I'd certainly be open to doing more stuff like that someday if I had the right sort of thing that would fit into a video format like that. But yeah, that was kind of a unique one. Anyway, so those were just some experimental side things I did with my channel. So what would it look like in the future? I talked about the future a little bit in the last update that I put up, but that was much more immediate, just like, here are the games I'll probably be playing soon. Looking a little farther ahead, I certainly expect to continue doing Let's Plays as I have been, as they exist today. Again, see the previous video for discussion about that. But yeah, doing Let's Plays has helped me very much with my speaking ability and expressing my thoughts and other things. Making friends online, it's a lot of fun and is very helpful to me. Like I said, if you look back at the Station 5 video, you can see just how much of a difference it has made to be speaking regularly and just getting that practice. So yeah, I want to continue doing that and see what happens. If at any point I look back to videos like a year ago, I can pick out plenty of stuff that has changed in my personality or way of speaking since then, and it always surprises me when I notice it. But yeah, it's a continual improvement sort of thing, so I want to continue improving and just, you know, you know what I mean. Maybe I'll get good enough at expressing things so I won't have to just awkwardly end sentences like that. Another thing I'd like to do at some point is to do some 3D modeling projects on video. 3D modeling is a skill that I have wanted to pick up for for many years, and only recently have I really put the time into it to actually learn what I needed to be able to do it reasonably well. I don't know if I'm good at it yet, but I'm better than I was, and it helped me very much to watch other artists working in Blender, and just to see how their workflow worked, how to use the program, how they think about things. So my workflow is my workflow. It's individual to me. Everybody seems to have their own way of doing it, so I thought it might be interesting to share that and just show some kind of modeling project from start to finish, in case anybody can get something out of that. Maybe they could learn the way that I did from the videos that I watched. So that would be fun. There was that game development series I did that just kind of didn't really go anywhere, but I would like to do this at some point. Write a game from start to finish and actually make a video series on it. That would be a very large project. But I would definitely like to do it, to share the entire process of game development. I just have to have the right project at the right time for that, and be sure that I can stick with it, and that I can present it well on video, basically. But that's someday I would like to do that, certainly. And I guess something a little bit more immediate would be that I'd like to have a regular schedule for streaming things, like the Legend of Grimrock Old School mode that I did. So that was a lot of fun. I'd like to do it again. I got some feedback from people. A continuing problem with whenever I stream something is that people don't really know about it ahead of time, because I don't really announce it or anything. So having some kind of regular time when I get on and just do a stream of something might be good. Don't know when or how I'll set that up, but one of these days I'd like to establish that. Possibly stream on YouTube instead of Twitch, because Twitch has some problems. Don't think I want to get into all of those today, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to, going back to the history stuff, I wanted to give more context about how I got where I am today, where I came from, and kind of answer the question once and for all of why I don't play Minecraft anymore. So yeah, since that drama in mid-2015, the the aesthetics and terminology of Minecraft and people who play Minecraft online kind of caused me a bit of a negative response, just as, it's one of those things. I had a bad thing happen, so I don't really want to think about things that remind me of that. Oh boy, my throat's getting really dry. I don't usually do this for so long. Wow, yeah, this has been quite rambly. Yikes. Hope my camera battery lasts through the rest of this. Minecraft culture can be kind of toxic, I've found. I saw a lot of negativity come from it on my channel back when I was doing it regularly, and I don't really want to invite that sort of thing. I like to curate my comments and viewership and try to encourage positivity. And that's a lot harder to do with Minecraft, because there's just so much noise and young people who don't know how to behave online and other things just coming from it. I just don't really want that on my channel, so that's another thing that's discouraging me from doing that. And I feel like at this point I've explored everything that's interesting to explore in the game. Even if it weren't for these other two problems, it's just not interesting to me to play anymore. I've seen everything there is to see. Even the stuff in the new updates, it's not that interesting to me. I need to be able to enjoy a game that I'm playing to make good video content for it, I feel like. And yeah, I've certainly discovered that with Minecraft and any other sandbox survival game or thing without a definite goal to it, they always ultimately end in disappointment, because I just have to stop at some point. Either I'm going to stop when I'm still interested in the game and there's more to do, and that's disappointing in its own way because I don't get any kind of closure. Yeah, I never get any kind of closure. Or I'll keep going until it just gets to be not really fun anymore, and I'll stop because it's not fun anymore, and that's another bad way to end. So yeah, any kind of sandbox game or roguelike or Again, something without a clearly defined goal, and ending and closure just doesn't really fit my channel anymore, just because of that dynamic that I've seen. There's no good way to end it, and there's nothing that I want to keep on doing forever. Like I said, Minecraft got old. It's not fun for me anymore. So I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'd either be doing something indefinitely or just stop it unsatisfyingly, basically. Yeah, just a couple of other things I wanted to mention here, as long as this has already been. I got this super weird YouTube message a few months ago or so from somebody who had taken the time to write a couple of paragraphs to me telling me how he thought that my videos had gotten so much worse over the years, and it was because of my commentary. This had me scratching my head because I didn't understand how anyone could see it that way. I'm happy to listen to feedback and stuff, but this was baffling to me. Because if I look back at any older video that I've done, it's clear to me that I've gotten dramatically better at speaking, at expressing my thoughts, at doing what I do. But apparently some people don't see it that way. There was something appealing about how I used to be that I've lost over the years, and I don't know what that is. There weren't a lot of specifics in that message, but if anybody is watching this and has the same sort of feeling, I'd be happy to hear, I'm sure the person I'm talking about knows who they are. I'm not giving too many specifics, but if you're watching, or if anybody else who has had this same thought is still here and hasn't gotten tired of my apparently increasing terribleness from their perspective, I'd love to hear, what did you like about the way I used to be? I don't like the way I used to be. It was so much worse. I didn't know how to express myself. I sounded kind of nervous. I was a little more shouty or something. I don't even know. Anyway, I don't get that. It's just completely baffling to me. I do consciously try not to do the things that other people do to have mass appeal on YouTube. I don't choose popular games. I try not to yell too much. I don't swear. I don't do memes. I try not to include too much vulgarity in my videos. Just all those little things that I think are the negative parts of YouTube culture, I consciously try to avoid. And maybe that's some of it. Maybe I've started avoiding those things more and more, and the things that make certain other YouTubers popular, that I try to define myself as something else. Maybe that's what this person and these people were after. I don't really know. Anyway, yeah, so for some reason I wanted to mention that, and that's going to give this a super awkward ending. I should have inserted that somewhere else or left it out entirely. I don't know. Anyway, so that's a history of my YouTube channel. Very in-depth, probably more than it should have been. So sorry if this might have seemed a little bit narcissistic, but I just wanted to explain that fully, to help people understand who I am and what I do. Anyway, yeah, so if you stuck with me through the end of this, congratulations. And yeah, I appreciate having you in my audience and all that stuff. Video ending, awkward words. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.